title of this year's edition is Three Imperatives: Decolonize, Decarbonise, Democratize. Unfortunately, we live in a time of new colonial wars, not only in Ukraine but in other parts of the world as well. We live in a moment of climate crisis, and these two things, combined with an exacerbated social inequality, lead to a crisis in democracy. So the festival's trying to face up to our contemporary predicament, to find ways of thinking about it, of acting on it, not only through traditional forms of political dialogue, by integrating cultural approaches, artistic approaches, different ways of thinking, different ways of acting, to try and attain the overall objective of Transeuropa, which is to imagine and enact an alternative European future.
Themes of the festival are extremely important, more than any other time. We need to decolonize. If we are serious about decarbonizing and serious about climate justice, then we can't do it without decolonizing. And if we are serious about changing democracy and indeed injecting democracy here in Europe and across the world, then we have to decolonize and we have to put climate justice at the heart of our democratic process. And what's been so wonderful about this festival is it's basically given us an opportunity to come together. Many citizens and people across Europe have come together to have these conversations, to have these discussions, to share ideas, to share visions, to dream of creating a better world, because it's through dreaming of creating a better world that we can put those dreams into action.
Decolonize must question first the way we look at things, the way we see things, and the way we deal with power that is still working in a colonial way. The coloniality of power remains in our relations inside Europe and with Europe and Africa and South America and Asia and so on.
And there is the idea in the European citizenship, or the European people in general, that the European Union is not a democratic construction. So the idea of transforming the European Union in a democratic construction, giving a perspective, we call it an utopia, of a democratic Europe, supranational, is the way I think essential to fight the extreme right and to give again a hope to democracy, to what I would call a democratic renaissance.
We had a popular assembly gathering some of the main groups of activists representing the underrepresented communities in Portugal. And those activists gathered together in this popular assembly in Valongo to work out together what do they think is lacking at the moment to support the civil society, to support the underrepresented communities in Portugal, and what should the institutions do at local level, at national level, at EU level, to finally commit to promoting the equal access to their rights.
Something that is new at Transeuropa Festival this year is also that we have made groundwork to really make sure we have a feminist input and a feminist structure of the festival. So the speakers, many of them are feminists, many of them come from very diverse backgrounds. We've worked on decolonizing our program and making sure both in the content and in the people who speak, we have this feminist decolonial approach. Room to Bloom was a very structural project in that. It has helped the organization grow and change. And also we're very happy to be able to bring in several feminist artists to the beautiful Alvore, where we are here today. There is artists from Spain, from Mexico, from Portugal, and they approach this question of decolonial feminism through their arts, and so we're very happy with that.
Eu vejo o festival como uma oportunidade de fazer ecoar vozes que muitas vezes são silenciadas institucionalmente e também no cotidiano. A gente precisa lembrar que esse festival é um espaço de muito privilégio. A gente muitas vezes adentra alguns espaços enquanto pessoas racializadas e imigrantes que a gente não sabe muito bem se teremos a nossa voz ecoada ou não. E eu acho que esse festival está sendo uma oportunidade para fazer com que as nossas vozes, principalmente de mulheres negras como eu e também mulheres lésbicas, sejam ouvidas.
I am so happy that I travelled to Porto. I feel energized by everything that's taken place so far. I've been feeling very moved, I've been feeling very emotional. I feel very connected to everyone in the room. I've never met the people before. We've just spent a weekend together, but it's been really empowering, and I think the main thing I'm taking away is, you know, the absolute need for solidarity, which I'm fully aware of, but to actually be able to see people after the pandemic, which we haven't actually come out of the pandemic, we're still in the pandemic, but to be able to meet people face to face and to be able to understand that even though we live different lives and different realities and in different parts of Europe, we actually share a lot of similar values and we are fighting the same horrors everywhere, and so this has been really empowering, and for me as an activist, it's been energizing for me. I feel extremely privileged to be here, and it's been really wonderful.
The importance of this kind of festival links with the importance of sharing knowledge and experience. We are building here something that is transnational because we have already changed connections, and maybe things can grow in a way that it's not institutional, it's more organic. It can only happen if people spend time together.
I find it what you are doing historical, really, because you take topics that are going on every level. Decolonization, fighting against sexism, against racism, against homophobia, lesbophobia, and all the phobias possible. It's basic in a human system. It's also, of course, on ecological level, because if you can't breathe basically, or the environment is being killed, we will die too. So it's basic topics, and of course democracy, because democracy is not something that is just there. It's about values, it's about rights, it's about fighting against discriminations in the plural, and oppression, because some of the groups are really oppressed. It's a whole structural system that is doing everything so that all the people don't have the same rights. And voila, all of those dimensions are important to find solution, a system that it's equal and that it does work for everyone, equal to each other. So for me it's really amazing. This whole long, more than a weekend, is about 4 days, 4 or 5 days, it's enormous. It's really good, I mean, impressive.